Guys, what's going on? My name is Ryan. I like to trade ETFs, and I make videos of the technical analysis that I'm seeing in the market. This is the second video that I'm doing of Bitcoin here, just because there's a huge amount of interest in it right now, and man, have we seen some interesting things. If you remember my video from 2 weeks ago, you remember that I talked about the three phases of a market. We have phase 1, the accumulation phase 2, the markup phase, and phase 3, the mania phase. We can definitely see that we have gone through these. In fact, I don't remember another picture that is more evident of the three phases of the market than this one. So just to give you an example of what this basically is, we basically have our phase 1, the accumulation phase, phase 2 is the markup phase, and then phase 3 is the mania phase here. And you can actually see a very similar pattern take place here with these three tops here, as well as this neckline. Over here on the daily chart, we have these three tops and our neckline right here. Now, as soon as this neckline, the support line, was broken, you should have been out of the trade. If you weren't, you're down about $500 on Bitcoin right now. And this should have been fairly obvious given, your indicators, of course, were pointing towards the bear side. However, I can completely understand the bullish picture as well because I was a bull for a period of time myself. I saw a hidden bullish divergence take place right here. Hidden bullish divergence is when our oscillator makes lower lows and our price makes higher lows. And we definitely saw that playing out right here. However, as soon as our oscillator drops below this zero line, that's a very bad signal. And at the same time, you should take into account what your other indicators are saying, and the other indicators were disagreeing with this hidden bullish divergence. They were pointing towards a bear divergence, and we saw that with our oscillator making lower highs and our RSI making a flat high and then a lower high. While our price made the move from right here to right here, our RSI should have moved upwards, but it was flat. And then again, we moved from this high to this high, and our RSI actually went down. It's a very bearish signal, and also from a volume perspective, you can see the most volume, I want to say ever, but I don't know about ever, and it looks like we had way more volume over here. But basically, we had a huge amount of selling volume right here at the top. This should have also potentially tipped you off a little bit. I can easily see three different patterns right here, and I labeled them, and they're actually in my video from 2 weeks ago if you want to fact check me, but I saw a pennant, a head and shoulders, and an ascending triangle. The ascending triangle right here, the pennant right here, and what's interesting about the pennant is that we broke out from it bullishly. However, this might have been a busted pattern, and that tends to happen sometimes with every pattern, but especially with the pennant, because pennants or symmetrical triangles, they're not definitely a bullish or bearish pattern. It's kind of a tug of war between the bulls and bears, and if the bulls take over for half a second and break out of that range, but they don't break out with conviction, it's called a bust. And we can see that here, and we'll get to that on lower time frames. But as far as the pennant goes, we came up here, we set our first resistance line, we came down, set our first support line. This is A, B, C, D, and E. And we broke out here, but we didn't have the volume or the conviction in price action to confirm this breakout. And we rolled over, as you can see. And so given the situation, you could confirm or speculate that this actually was a head and shoulders pattern, and say that this was the left shoulder, this was the head, and this was the right shoulder. Then we had a bull trap right here, and then we broke down to the downside. Let's go to the 2 hour and check it out, what we've got here. On the 2 hour chart, there is unfortunately almost nothing bullish to say about this chart right now. It's a pure technical breakdown. As far as the measured move for the head and shoulders go, we would draw this from our absolute high down to our area of first support, which would be right here. We would take this and clone it and bring it out to our breakdown level, which is right about here. In fact, you could say it's right here, but I drew it over to this point just because it crowds what I'm trying to show over here. So this would be our measured move for a completed head and shoulders target. It also comes in line very closely with our Fibonacci, which I drew right here, which is our first area of true consolidation on this chart, all the way up to our high, and it spits out these numbers right here. So the 23.6, as well as the measured move, it's an area of consolidation right here. And the Elliott wave also supports that. We'll get into the Elliott wave a little bit more on the half hour chart. Basically, I'm seeing a 1, 2, long 3 leg, 4, and 5. And also our channel, last but not least, supports that we will come all the way down here to touch the bottom of the channel. I've noticed that if you draw it, you only really need 3 points to assess the direction of a stock or where the ultimate location of it's going to go. You need for the bear side, you need 2 tops and 1 bottom. For the bull side, you need 2 bottoms and 1 top. Or, you just need 2 tops and 1 bottom. An example of this, I could show would be trying to assess at this point how far it's going to break down. I would draw it from the high here, from this high to this high right here, and take this bottom right here. We have 3 tops and 1 bottom, and we're right here, and we're trying to assess how far it's going to fall. And that would give you a fairly accurate prediction as to where price is going to go. So that's just a off-the-cuff example of what I'm talking about here when I have 3 highs and 1 low, and why my channel is predicting us to go down here. It looks like we're going to go to this 1633 range. So my buy target 1, which if I am a Bitcoin buyer, would be right around here at this 3 level. At this 3, according to the Elliott wave, I think that, again, we have this 1, 2, 3, and then we cannot continue this downtrend just indefinitely like this. We need to consolidate, and then we can see a move to the downside. But this consolidation zone might come here at the $1850 range, and you could catch a nice bounce back up to the 2050 range, in my humble opinion, I guess. So if you wanted to make a quick scalp there, or perhaps build onto a long-term buy and hold position for Bitcoin, this first buy target here at the 1850 range might be a decent entry. But as far as my ultimate destination for Bitcoin goes, given these 4 reasons, consolidation, 23.6 fib, the channel, the measured move, and Elliott wave, I have reason to believe that Bitcoin is going to fall all the way down to the $1,600 range. So from the 2 hour, let's go to the 30-minute. On the 30-minute chart, I'm seeing a fractal, which is in this Elliott wave. Again, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see that we had bottoming action here with this hump pattern, and we basically got just above it, and then we had this head and shoulders right here, and we've been rolling down. Now it looks to me like we're trying to set this similar pattern in again. So this is just perhaps something to keep in mind, that if you are in a trade, you could catch a little bounce right here before we head down further, and that would actually be in line with what I'm predicting as far as the Elliott wave goes. So this is just a quick little tidbit, I guess, on the chart. On the 30-minute, let's conclude with the 1 hour chart. So here on the 1 hour chart, you can see that I drew this channel right here. I assume that price will be locked in this channel until our duration, until we reach our $1,600 buy target. As far as the pennant goes, let's go back to the pennant conversation. There was no volume on this breakout, and you need volume to confirm a breakout. Volume was super low. We had this one spike right here, and there was no conviction from the bulls. Over here on the breakdown, you can see these enormous volume bars, as well as additional enormous volume bars on our way down. And then there was no conviction from the bulls to buy this up, and even more conviction on the bears to drive it down. Over here, we didn't see that on this breakout of the pennant. And that's why this is a busted pennant pattern, because we did break out, and then we rolled over and came back down further. Let's quickly take a look at my prediction from June 30th as to what's going to happen. I said in my video analysis that we are coming into a wedge pattern. This is A, B, C, D, and E, and that we will continue to travel right here. We will catch a bounce, and then we will move downside, we'll break out, we'll flag, and then we'll probably move up. Because again, I was looking at this pennant right here, and let's take a look at what happened. So essentially, if you were to shift everything to the left, it would have been a pretty good prediction. I just drew my arrows too far out. Basically, we had this pop, we did come down here to E, we did have this higher low right here, we did break out, we did flag, and we did come to this ultimate target right here at about the 2650 range before we started to roll over. So prediction for next week is don't trust this little bounce right here. I see us coming all the way down to the $1,850 range before catching a short-term bounce up to 4, and then traveling all the way down to complete our Elliott wave at 5 down here to 1600. That has been my technical analysis of Bitcoin, and if you like this video, you want to catch my analysis next week to see how things played out, please like and subscribe. It helps me out so much, and I wish all of you the best of luck trading Bitcoin next week.